The Confessions of Saint Augustine, Book 8, Chapter 2, following. To conclude, when the hour was come for making profession of his faith, which at Rome they, who are about to approach to your grace, deliver from an elevated place, in the sight of all the faithful, in a set form of words committed to memory, the presbyters, he said, offered Victorinus, as was done to such as seemed likely, through bashfulness, to be alarmed, to make his profession more privately. But he chose rather to profess his salvation in the presence of the holy multitude. For it was not salvation that he taught in rhetoric, and yet that he had publicly professed, how much less then ought he, when pronouncing your word, to dread your meek flock, who, when delivering his own words, had not feared a mad multitude. When then he went up to make his profession, all as they knew him whispered his name one to another with a voice of congratulation. And who there knew him not? And there ran a low murmur through all the mouth of the rejoicing multitude, Victorinus, Victorinus! Sudden was the burst of rapture that they saw him, suddenly were they hushed that they might hear him. He pronounced the true faith with an excellent boldness, and all wished to draw him into their very heart. Ye, by their love and joy, they drew him thither, such were the hands wherewith they drew him. Chapter 3. Good God! What takes place in man that he should more rejoice at the salvation of a soul despaired of and freed from greater peril than if there had always been hope of him or the danger had been less? For so you also, merciful Father, does more rejoice over one penitent than over 99 just persons that need no repentance. And with much joyfulness do we hear, so often as we hear with what joy the sheep which had strayed is brought back upon the shepherd's shoulder, and the goat is restored to your treasury. The neighbors rejoicing with the woman who found it, and the joy of the solemn service of your house forced to tears, when in your house it is read of your younger son that he was dead and lives again, had been lost and is found. For you rejoice in us and in your holy angels, holy through holy charity. For you are ever the same, for all things which abide not the same, nor forever, you forever know in the same way. What then takes place in the soul when it is more delighted at finding or recovering the things it loves than if it had ever had them? Ye, and other things witness hereunto, and all things are full of witnesses, crying out, so is it. The conquering commander triumphs, yet had he not conquered, unless he had fought, and the more perils there was in the battle, so much the joy is there in the triumph. The storm tosses the sailors, threatens shipwreck. All wax pale at approaching death, sky and sea are calmed, and they are exceeding joyed, as having been exceeding afraid. A friend is sick, and his spouse threatens danger. All who long for his recovery are sick in mind with him. He is restored, though as yet he walks not with his former strength, yet there is such joy as was not, when before he walked sound and strong. Ye, the very pleasures of human life men acquire by difficulties, not those only which fall upon us unlooked for and against our wills, but even by self-chosen and pleasure-seeking trouble. Eating and drinking have no pleasure unless there precede the pinching of hunger and thirst. Men given to drink eat certain salt meats to procure a troublesome heat, which the drink allaying causes pleasure. It is also ordered that the affianced bride should not at once be given, lest as a husband he should hold cheap whom has betrothed his side not after. This law holds in full and accursed joy, this in permitted and lawful joy, this in the very purest perfection of friendship, this in him who was dead and lived again, had been lost and was found. Everywhere the greater joy is ushered in by the greater pain. What means this, O Lord my God, whereas you are everlasting joy to yourself, and some things about you evermore rejoice in you? What means this, that this portion of things thus ebbs and flows alternately displeased and reconciled? Is this their allotted measure? Is this all you have assigned to them, whereas from the highest heavens to the lowest earth, from the beginning of the world to the end of ages, from the angel to the worm, from the first motion to the last, you set each in its place, and realizes each in their season, everything good after its kind? Woe is me! How high are you in the highest, and how deep in the deepest, and you never depart, and we scarcely return to you.